What's up guys? So in today's video I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this really amazing impromptu prediction style card trick that will completely confuse your spectator. And I just want to thank you guys for all the support we've had on the channel recently. We just hit 20,000 subscribers, so I really do appreciate that, and I'm going to be announcing an Amazon gift card giveaway that will be taking place really soon, so make sure you guys look out for that. And if you are new here to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more magic content just like this. And now let's get right into this performance. Okay, so I'd start off this trick by giving the deck to my spectator, and they could just shuffle up the cards as much as they want to until they are satisfied. So once my spectator is done shuffling up the cards, I would ask for the deck back, and what I'm going to do here is just make 3 piles of cards like so, and I'm going to have my spectator be making a selection here, and what they're going to do is they are just going to lift up on any one of these 3 piles they want to, and the card they lift up to will be their selection. So let's say my spectator lifts up on this packet here, and this card they lift up to will be their selection. I promise I'm not looking at it, I'm just showing you guys. So that card there, that's going to be your selection, and my spectator can place the packet of cards with their selection in it on any one of the 3 piles they want to. So let's say they place it right there. We're going to give the remaining cards here a quick mix-up, just like so, and place these cards onto this pile. So at this point in the trick, what I'm going to do is deal down 2 separate piles of cards, just like so. So I'm going to deal down these cards here, and once I'm done doing this, my spectator is going to have another decision to make in this trick, and that decision being which packet of cards they want. So let's say my spectator chooses this card, this packet here. That means we are going to keep these cards and then discard the rest of the cards like this. I'll place those onto the deck, and now we are left with these remaining cards. And keep in mind, I don't know what your card is, and I don't know where it is in the deck. I really hope it's in this packet here, but I'm not sure. And at this point, I'm just going to start making guesses as to where your card is in the deck. So right here, I don't think that's your card. Really hope I'm right, so I'm just going to place that onto the packet. And I'm going to turn over the top card we have here in this packet. Ace of Hearts, no, I don't think that's your card either. I'm going to place that on the deck. Now we are left with these cards here. I'm just going to give them a quick mix-up, like so. And I'm going to change things up a little bit here. I'm just going to have my spectator choose any one of these remaining cards we have. So let's say my spectator chooses this card right here. And I'm going to take another guess. And now I don't think that's going to be your card either. I'm going to place that on the rest of the deck. And now we're left with these cards. I'm just going to give them another mix-up. Now I'm going to make a couple more guesses. So I'm going to take these top 2 cards. Now I don't think either one of these has your selection. So I'm going to place these onto the deck. And now finally we are left with these 2 cards, and I'm actually going to have my spectator put their finger over each one of these cards. So we'll start with this one. I'll grab their wrist and I'll try to feel their pulse here. So I'll have them place their finger over this card and then this card. I actually feel a little change here when you place your finger over this card. Check it out. If I snap my fingers, I can actually get this card right here to be your selection, the Ace of Hearts. So that is the card trick. I hope you guys like this one, and if you want to learn how to do it, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. So this is a really cool card trick because, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it is completely impromptu, and you can do this trick with even a borrowed deck of cards. So what you're going to do to start off, you have your spectator. They can just shuffle up the cards as much as they want to until they are satisfied. So once your spectator is done shuffling up the cards, you're going to ask for the deck back, and you are going to make 3 piles of cards. And the secret here is each pile of cards is going to have 5 cards in each pile. So you're just going to do this as discreetly as possible. So you're just going to be kind of talking to your spectator, misdirecting them, and you're going to be keeping track of how many cards you're sliding off. So you have 5. You're going to place those down in a pile 1. Slide 3 cards off at a time. You're going to count 1, 2. That makes 5. And you're going to do that one more time to get that 3rd pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your spectator really shouldn't pick up on that because you're going to be talking to them. They'll be looking at you. They're not really going to be picking up on how many cards you're putting down into each pile. So at this point, you have your 3 piles with 5 cards in each. And the good thing about this trick is you can have your spectator. They can lift up on any one of these 3 piles, and the card they lift up on will be their selection. So let's just say my spectator wants to lift up on this pile right here. So in this case, their selection would be the 5 of spades. And when you are performing this trick, you actually don't need to look at the card at all, which is another really cool thing about this trick. You just have them look at it, you just have them memorize their cards, in this case the 5 of spades, and from here you just have them place this packet of cards with their selection in it on any one of these 3 piles. So keep in mind, you're not looking at it, you don't know their selection, they place it, say, in this pile right here. You're going to take the remaining cards, it really doesn't matter, you can just place them directly on top of this pile, Or what you can do is just shuffle them up as much as you want to. It will not change anything. It just makes it believable to your spectator that you're mixing up the cards as much as possible. So you're going to place these remaining cards onto this deck here. And the really cool thing about this trick is this is sort of a self-working part of the trick here. So what you're going to do from here is keep in mind you don't have any breaks or anything. You actually don't even need to know where their selection is in this packet of cards, because what I did in the performance here, you're going to deal down cards into 2 separate piles here. It's really important you start with dealing down cards to the left. So you're going to go 1, 2, you're just going to finish dealing down the cards like this. You're just going to tell your spectator you're dealing down cards into 2 separate piles here. Make the point, you still don't know what their selection is and you don't know where it is in the deck. And if you do that right, it's always going to end up being the pile to your right, and the 3rd card from the bottom is going to be their selection. So that's a really cool part of this trick, because this is basically self-working. You start dealing down the cards into 2 separate piles by starting with the left. The 3rd card from the bottom of the right pile here will be their selection all the time. So that's a cool part of the trick. Your spectator is obviously not going to know what their card is out of this mess here. And at this point, you're just going to square up the piles, and you're going to do a kind of magician's force here. So basically, you need to keep this pile for the rest of the trick. So you're just going to tell your spectator, choose any one of the 2 piles. So let's say they choose this one here with their selection in it. You're going to say, okay, we're going to use this pile. Let's say they choose this one. You're just going to say, okay, we're going to get rid of this pile. So either way, you're going to be using this pile here that has their selection. So you just basically do the magician's force there. You're going to take the remaining cards. You're going to place them onto the rest of the deck right here. Now you are left with these cards, once again, their selection being in the 3rd position from the bottom. So at this point, what you're going to do here is you're just going to spread out the cards like so. And then as you're just going to make the point one more time to your spectator, you don't know what their selection is, you don't know where it is, and you're not even sure if it's in this packet of cards here because they had the choice, but in reality, you force this packet onto them. And once you spread out the cards here, you're going to need to get a pinky break above these 3 cards. So kind of as you square them up, just get a pinky break like so above those 3 cards. And what you're going to do from here is you're going to explain to your spectator, you're just going to start making guesses as to what their card is. So you're going to slide off the first card. You're not going to turn it over. You're just going to place it down, and you're going to tell your spectator, nah, I don't think that's your card. You're going to place that on the rest of the deck. And now at this point, you're set up to do a easy double lift. So you have that pinky break. You're going to say, okay, we're going to turn over this top card. But in reality, you're turning over 2. And this will be their selection. Don't really change your emotion or anything. Just say, okay, there's 5 of spades here. I don't think that's your card. You're going to turn the double packet back over like this. And you're going to say, okay, we're going to take the 5 of spades off, but in reality, you are taking off a random card and placing that on top of the deck here. At this point, your spectator is like, what are you doing? They probably thought you messed up. So you're going to place that card there. In reality, now you have their selection of 5 of spades on top of the packet. So at this point, what you need to do is bring their selection now to the bottom of this packet. It's really easy. All you need to do here is just slide off their card, finish those overhand shuffles, maintaining their card at the bottom. Just kind of use your four fingers here and just keep that card at the bottom doing some overhand shuffles. Now, at this point, this trick can kind of end in 2 ways. So you're going to tell your spectator to choose any one of these 5 cards here. You know that their selection is at the bottom, and you're going to have them choose any one of the cards. And let's say they choose this bottom card here. You're going to say, okay, you could have chosen any one of these 5 cards. Snap your fingers, do whatever you want, and you're going to show them that they actually chose their card. So that's a really one way this trick can end. That's a pretty cool way of ending the trick, in my opinion. And I guess you don't necessarily need to bring this card to the bottom. You can just keep it at the top here. Spread out the cards, and your spectator can choose one. They choose the top one. Boom, that's their selection. The trick's done. But let's say they don't choose the bottom card, which is their selection, or the top card, depending on how you just shuffled the pack before this part of the trick. So let's say they choose this card here. You know it's not their card. You're going to say, okay, you could have make sure they don't turn it over. You're going to have them place it down. You're going to say, no, I don't think that's your card either. You're going to place that on the deck like this. Now you are left with these 4 remaining cards, their selection still at the bottom, and you can just kind of do some overhand shuffles like this. You can bring their packet to the card at the top, bring it back to the bottom, any way you want to, and now you're going to make some more predictions. You just need to keep control and know where their selection is in this packet. Easiest way, you keep it at the top and bottom. So at this point, you can just say, okay, I'm going to take the next top 2 cards here, and I'm just going to take a guess, and you're going to say, no, I don't think these are your cards either. You're going to place those onto the pile like this. And now at this point, you are left with their selection at the bottom and a random card here, or their selection at the top and a random card at the bottom. You just need to know which one of these two cards is their selection. And ending this trick can really be up to you guys. You can just say you're going to take a guess. You can say, okay, I think this is your card, reveal it. Or what you can do is what I did in the performance, kind of just do an acting job and having your spectator lift up their hand like this. You grab their wrist, they place their finger over this card. Over this one, you say, okay, I felt your pulse change over this card. This must be your selection. Or what you can do here is another instance of a Magician's Force. You can just have your spectator choose any one of these two cards. Just tell your spectator, okay, touch any one of these two cards. Let's say they touch this one. You're going to say, okay, you could have chosen any one of the two. Boom, your selection right here. They choose this one. You're going to say, we're going to get rid of this one. Place it on the deck. Snap your fingers. And boom, they are left here with their selection. So the ending of this trick can really go in one of two ways, by having your spectator choose one of the 5 cards as you spread it out and it's their selection, or you kind of get down to these final 2 cards and you end the trick the way you want to. And it has a really powerful effect actually, because they saw you put this card in the deck, but in reality you did a double lift there. So that's a really cool part of this trick as well, that your spectator will really be shocked to see that their selection had somehow ended up back on the table and you ended up with that card. So that is basically how the trick works. I hope this tutorial made sense for you guys. Feel free to leave any questions you have about anything I explained in this tutorial in the comment section below. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, thanks for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Peace out.